to this warship. This is originally covered by Professor Na, and he has been a Navy officer for a long time. So he prepared this one. I just used his slide, slightly modified it. So this time he was busy with another work, so I could not ask him to cover this one. I'm sorry. 1 year ago, he covered this one. And Chiho will cover the later part. He's not come yet. I will cover the front part as usual. The roles and classification, the types I cover. So it looks not difficult for me because there are so many pictures only. So role first. What is the role of warship? It is for fighting, right? Fighting. And also support. Performs the function of fighting and floating and moving. Very simple. Act as home, quarters for component and complement. So they stay. Especially in old days, not now, current period. In old days, say Roman period or Columbus period, or so in Korea we have Isunshin, General Isunshin period. That is more important functions, especially for supporting. Because at that time there is no train, no highway. Right? So ship is the most important device to carry food and people. Right? Supporting material for war, fighting. And also the battle was taken for several years, not several months. So that is important for supporting, moving, and home and quarters. Complicated military needs and long-term facilities. Complex fascinating engineering systems. So we, as a designer of warship, compromise is important for any engineers. But once again, this is a complex system. You need more compromise, more iteration, because interdependency between subsystems are higher than open system, closed system and open system. Closed system, the interdependency is higher, the level of interdependency, so you need to have a more trade-off, balances, and conflicting requirements, right, because of a dependency. And this is a role again, operating group. There are the task forces. So they divided into task forces. So carrier task force may be the supporting, moving materials. Right? Anti-air, submarine, and surface ships. Amphibious is land and water together. And mine, the bomb inside the water, right? Mine, and land also. So this picture is not good. You can see complicated tasks are there. Very different, many kind of. So that the classification is coming because of the task forces, right? The role is different, so you need to have a different type of ships. So in a three big categories, they classify surface ships like this one, and submarines underwater, and auxiliary for supporting logistic, carry some material, landing support from ship to land, and rescue when ship has a capsized and sink, and towing, engine is problem. Right. Submarines, nuclear submarine, diesel, electric, we already covered this one, and submersibles. This is for research, deep water. We will cover this later, next week or so. Surface ships, aircraft carrier, destroyer, frigate, patrol, amphibious, and warship. The short names for carrier vehicle, destroyer, frigate, FF. That is short name for there. So FF. The military also likes short names and numbers, right? For their, I don't know why, but it's not easy to understand what its meanings sometimes. Aircraft carrier, mobile airfield supply for other ships. CVN, CVNM, and CV, that is short names for US aircraft carriers. Ford class, Nimitz class, and Midway class. This is UK. France, Charles de Gaulle, and this is Nimitz class of US. And CVN is Ford class. Nowadays, several aircraft carrier of US Navy is coming to Korean Peninsula or Japan because of North Korea. So sometimes we see from the TV broadcast. Amphibious, there is a floatable dock. Floatable means the dock, the deck, it should be deck. Right? Deck, it can be, some of the deck can be submerged into the water so that a boat or a tank can be launched into the water. Right? Flight deck also for helicopters, usually not aircraft, helicopters to carry troops. So that is usually for landing, right? Landing, attacking the land-based military enemy. And material, they should carry material for seaborne assault. They also have short names for landing ship, dock, helicopter carrier, tank, and amphibious, assault, and cargo ships. So here is the short names: amphibious ships, landing ship, dock, and helicopter carrier. This looks like a traditional aircraft, so it can be seen as an aircraft carrier, but the size is smaller. You may see this is aircraft carrier, no, helicopter. I don't know. Amphibious ships, the transport dock, and landing transport, and assault ships. What is this? Is this helicopter? I cannot recognize this picture. Looks like a long helicopter. This is a helicopter. I cannot see what this looks like. And cruise ship, cruiser is coming. Passenger cruiser is also cruiser. But this is for battleships. And that is surface warfare. Surface means water surface. Anti-submarine warfare, ASW. Submarine. And they try to catch. Destroyer also catch submarines. So to support group of lead task forces. It is bigger than destroyer. Destroyer is more. So it's about 10,000 tons. So you can imagine the size. And also they launch his missile because it's a big one. So you can carry. Probably this one is aircraft carrier, cruiser, and destroyer. The size is a little bit smaller. and destroyer. Destroyer, the size is a little bit smaller than cruiser. Principally air warfare, anti-air. Destroyer is for air. And guided missile, and then class is United States, Jungward class, but these ones for Korean Navy, KDX destroyer classes, 1 to 3. So this is the Korean KDX-3, the new type, slightly, what is this? I can't remember the wording for, not to catch it by radar. Stealth ships, right? Stealth. So ship is also stealth type, to not to be catched by, not easy to catch it by radar. Right, so the shape is a little bit inward overted, not in this way, in another way. Right? Stealth shapes of U.S. Navy, UK, and Korean. Koreans also a little bit inward slice, right? But this one is very special shape. Right? Frigate is a little bit smaller than destroyer. You can see that the size in tons, 3,000 and 4,000. Anti-submarine or anti-air, and frigate helicopter or littoral combative, frigate guided missile. And Korean Navy use FF as frigate. 1 to 3. This is coming from Netherlands, right? Netherlands, Omaha, probably U.S. Navy, and France. That also shows some stealth-like shapes. In order that the angle of that superstructure is inward oriented. Okay, and petrograph. This is small, much smaller, 1,000 ton and 2,000 ton. So in Korea, the Cheonhanam case was very famous to people. That is a kind of petroboat. And also, Seohae-daejeon in Korean names, there is a small battle between North Korea and South Korea Navy about 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And that also engaged with these kind of small petrol craft. Offshore peacetime tasks, right? Peacetime. So just patrolling. So fast attack and guided missile to Cheonhanam is a PCC. In Korean is a Cheonhanam class. So there are very same type or same design of ships. We have about 20, more than 20 Cheonhanam class petrocraft in Korea. This is coming from Chile. Okay, and petrocraft again, the offshore petrol, and then fast attack, and guided missile. So Korean Navy has a PK as a petrol craft. And then this is coming from Greece, and this comes from Thai. You can see that this is smaller than the other ones. This is looks like bigger. Okay, and mine warfare, mine sweeper, and there are several different namings, right? 3 different styles, right? Laying, mine hunting, and mine sweeping. Mine laying is they are installing mines, right? Installing, spreading out. And then anti-mining is hunting and sweeping, right? And anyway, you should have different for the enemy, for the defense and offense. So laying ships and sweeping ships and hunting ships. And And sweep and hunting is together sometimes. In Korea, they are in short names in MS, MLS, and MHS. So, photo coming from Iran. It should be UK, and this is maybe United States. Submarine. Submarine we already covered the other way, but anyway. There's a strategic ballistic missile submarine. This is the biggest one, right? Strategic, ballistic, intercontinental something. And cruise missile submarine, and attack submarine, and submarines. So in recent days, the North Korea launched the SLBM. Is it right? SLBM? I can't remember. What is the full name? SLBM. Ballistic missile. Right? Launching. Submarine from the launched ballistic missile. That is usually this kind of SSBM, ballistic missile. Right? Ballistic missile. But it should be a big one. The size of the submarine should be big. Why? Because you should launch the missile in an upright, vertical direction. And also the body should be stable enough to be as a launcher. Okay. So that currently South Korea nor North Korea does not have such big submarine yet. So many people are guessing that the North Korea launches from the submerged barge rather than a submarine at this moment. But they are building big submarine also together. So they are preparing for that. So the missile is prepared, right, and tested, but submarine is not prepared yet, under preparation. So SSBN should be the biggest one. This one is United States SSBN. You can imagine the size by seeing the size of comparing the size of a person. Yeah. Comparing to this one, the France one, and this is also United States. And Jangbogo is Korean Navy, diesel electric submarines. And currently, Jangbogo 3 is under construction in Korea. That is about 3,000 ton displacement. So they can be used as a launching ballistic missile, but we don't have such a device yet. The missile itself. Auxiliary, there is a supporting ships. So logistic support. Logistic means something like a cargo carrying. Right? Logistic. Supplies for battle preparation. That we call that logistics. That word is coming from military word. But now logistics is used for many other commercial fields too. But anyway, the original wording of logistics comes from supporting material, carrying supporting material for military warfare. And oceanographic is to survey oceans. Navy also need to survey the oceans to find out at least good waterways, underwater or depths. Some there can be. You need to have a underwater map to install mines also, right? So that kind of thing. The Navy also need research vessels. In Korea, there are some different kind of auxiliary ships. Domain, Berlin is Germany, USS Navy. All right, so that can be my last slide. So auxiliary ship, again, salvage vessel. salvage vessel. You need to salvage when 세월호 capsized. We need a special support for salvaging ships. So Navy have such ships because there are so many cases for Navy, more than passenger carriers. Passenger ships sometimes, but not frequently as a disaster. But Navy has many cases, so you need to maintain the salvage ship so that you may understand and expect that Navy has more facility, more preparation for salvage operation, so that the scuba divers also trained and maintained. Comparing to the commercial world, there are more in Navy. So in several cases, we should, at least at the beginning, we should ask Navy to operate at that time. But there has been some mismatch at the beginning. So salvage ship and submarine rescue ships. So salvage, once again, the salvage is same, but rescue and salvage is same. But it is specialized for submarine salvage. And then oceanography once again. So ASR is for submarine rescue. ASR. And should be ARS. This is the original salvage ship. And AGX. This is oceanographic. So it should be that. All right. Question? Question? Then Chiho can.
And I continue the lecture on warship. This chapter is warship characteristics. In the battlefield, we develop new ships rather than improve existing ships, like commercial ships. And requirement needs high technology for warship in like below. The mobility, combat capability, and the sea keeping, and maneuverability, and risk noise and vibration, survivability, and EMI, EMC, EMP, and stealth and integrated logic support. EMI, EMP, EMC, and EM is related with electromagnetics. And EMI is electromagnetic interference. This is influence of unwanted electromagnetic waves and emitted by an electronic device to other electronic devices. EMC protect electronic devices from the influence of noise from other electronic equipment. There are three big systems in warships. One is platform. This includes hull form and structure, and propulsion system, electronic system, and also outfitting. And special performance like survivability and stealth, noise, vibration, and shock, EMX. EMX is also important things. So the warship is integrating these three systems. Next characteristic is the performance optimization. Power effect proportion plate and the proportion plate effect stack ranges support system displacement. Stack range affect hull volume. Hull volume affect both displacement and hull resistance. Support system affect both hull volumes and displacement. There are many equipment into the warship, so the space optimus is important too. And data network optimization and COTS. TSCE is total shipboard computing environment. It designed to bind all systems together. It creates a shipboard enterprise network allowing seamless integration of all onboard systems. This TSCE is mounted on Jumwat. Yeah. And it also gives the Navy increased ability to use standardized software and commercial of the self hardware on the fleet-wide basis. and stealth is also the characteristics of warship. A stealth ship is a ship which employ stealth technology in an effort to ensure that it is harder to detect by one or more of radar. This DDX is one of the strongest ships in the world. Stealth ship in the world. The dual board radar DBR is the first radar system in the U.S. Navy fleet. This is capable of operating over 2 frequency ranges. This higher frequency radar will improve the ability of the destroyer to track aircraft and the missile. And 2 types of sonar array are gathered together in 2 types of sonar arrays are gathered together in a single solution known as the integrated undersea waveform waveware. High frequency sonar is able to detect underwater microfield, while medium frequency sonar sought out submarine and torpedoes. And this is C2 and C and CS. C2 is command control and C is combat execution and CS is command support. This CSDB is combat system data bus. So the backbone network that align various information processing those that make up the battlefield combat system, and it is generally referred to as a local area network, referred to in commercial information. So warship can collect information about C2, CE, and CS through CSDB, or give command to the machine. And next characteristic is weapon coverage. First, SAM is surface-to-air missile, and the VSR is sorry. The this characteristic is sensor coverage. That EOTS is electro-optical targeting system, and it is a system employed to track and locate target in all warships. IRST is interfered with radar search and track. It is a method for detach and tracking objectives which give of interfered radiation such as aircraft and helicopter. MFR is a multifunction radar and VSR is volume search radar. MFR coupled with VSR provide the optimal combination of complementary capability. The VSR is optimized for long-range detection and tracking of targets, while the MFR is optimized for medium-range, high accuracy tracking of targets, as well as horizon search and missile guardians function. That is, underwater combat system includes sensors to avoid obstruct or torpedo under the sea. And this sensor includes the ability to search for submarines and torpedo obstruct respectively. Shinobu is wireless exploring on the sea like a buoy, and the dipping sonar can be connected to a helicopter to determine the situation in the ocean. The other sensor is towed or attached to the ship for exploration. This is the weapon coverage. And the first SAM is the surface to air missile, and it is distinguished into SR, MR, LR by attack range, and ASM is to surface missile, air to surface missile, and in this range, ASM can attack aircraft. Next is warship trend. On one of the trend is recent time is to have a high stress function. By minimizing the signal to RCS, IR, URN, magnetic, you can make yourself invisible to the enemy or device others. The planar conductor has the lowest stress effect because it returns the total energy in the direction of incidence energy. Because of this, plane is strongly reflected when the radio waves approach the vertical angle, but not toward the approach direction at other angles. So the recent stress trend of weapon system is polyhedral planar shape. So in addition to this, there are also used special material to make this shape. Next trend is survivability. An essential element of ship design is the integrated measurement of the ship's survivability. Survivability is defined. It consists of reduced susceptibility and vulnerability and recoverability. Susceptibility is defined as the ability of avoidance or defeat to a weapon. So ship can reduce susceptibility by signature controls and self-defense system, and reduce vulnerability is defined as after ship taking a hit from the weapon, it will have its mobility and power. So optimum arrangement of system and protect against hostile weapon is the best way for reducing vulnerability. And next, enhanced recoverability is defined as control the spread of damage after hit and recovery damage. And next trend is automatic and reduced crew. IPMS is integrated platform magnet system. It provides MCS and IBS, DCS, ICAS, TSTS. Integrating these capability at the platform level can optimize operational effectiveness and contribute to crewing reduction. Enhanced automation allows the ship to be fully supported by less crew. The warship name of DDG 10,000 from USA, only 150 crews to support the ship. It is just 10% of personnel needed that compared with WWI, which is similar in size. And FREMM is just 108 and SC is 50. And Furthermore, this time it is unmanned system. Unmanned system. Unmanned means there are no person aboard this vehicle. And unmanned surface vehicle, USV is unmanned surface vehicle, and UUVs is unmanned underwater vehicle, and UAV is unmanned air vehicle. And another trend is to reduce acoustic cost and operation. And for this, they save fuel cost by using hybrid propulsion system and electric systems. The following is about modularization according to multi-missions. Modularization is designed to enable customized mounting of weapon and detection equipment according to each mission through modularization without having to create a new ship for each mission. It is also possible to attach and detach according to new weapon development. And next trend is integrated mast system. It is integrated most of sensor in the mast. This control bind zone reduce weight, sensor durability, reduce maintenance cost, and reduce building interface. This is warship acoustic process. This is US acoustic. This is US acoustic and design process. It determines the mission need. Concept study are started, and from acoustic process, it expand and define the concept, and from design process, it study feasibility. And next is concept demonstration approval. Acoustic and design process demonstrate and contract design. And after the approval development, acoustic process proceed engineering and manufacturing development, and design process design the ship details. And after approved production, acquisition process is production development, and the design process is fellowship and model repeat. And in major modification is needed. Acoustic process is operation and support, and dangerous process in conversion. In warship acquisition process, initial design shape is important. Concept design have 70% of influence for the ships, but it costs just 5% for shipbuildings. This is ROK, warship acquisition process. First, Navy lead the feasibility study, and the result is concept and the requirement of capabilities. Next, CAPA. Next, DAPA, Navy lead concept study and result in ROC and TLR. After that, shipyard lead basic design for building spec, and the shipyard lead detailed design and construct by deliver. And this slide shows the corporation system for warship procurement. And Navy suggests ROC and connected design and TLR. JCS decides ROC and interoperability. DAPA plan execution and project management and quality control. And ADD developed the ship and DTAG inspect the quality. Shipyard design and build the ship. And quality control.
Right, now we're having the discussion on the Navy ship design and construction. Our first statement is Navy projects should not be outsourced to other countries. And as the professor said last time, I will divide you into groups. So this is the line. You agree and you don't agree. So hit it. What do you think? Or that doesn't really matter. You agree, you don't agree. Why should Navy projects be outsourced or not?
What do you mean for outsourced? What do you mean?
That you
add another word.
For example, in the DSME shipyard in Korea, they have Navy ships for the UK and for Norway. They say Korea built my Navy ships, and Korea says, okay, I will build your Navy ships. And the statement says that it should not be done for reasons. Yeah.
Just to be clear, they just took the plans, and they did it like the ship plans are designed in Norway or in Europe, and then they are built in Korea.
The shipyard is not designed. I'm supposing that Norway itself and the UK itself designed the ship, and it's built here.
And they make it built by Korean shipyard.
That is what I mean with outsourcing. That you say to another country, please build my ship.
I think that Navy projects should not be outsourced to other countries.
Oh.
Because if you outsource it, you will end up transferring sensible information and ship designs that could be taken advantage of by the country which the project is outsourced to. And that could be dangerous, potentially.
Interesting.
And you don't know whose hands the ship design will fall into once it leaves the safety of your own borders.
Norway. Interesting, yes.
My opinion determined to disagree his opinion. I think because not every country is America, right? And there are some countries which are able to build their own ships. In that case, the outsourcing is efficient, very powerful. And about the security problem, I think that's why when the countries are outsourcing, they do not select the potential enemy, like for example South Korea doesn't answer to North Korea, right? So I think they can solve the problem.
They say it can be handy. Not every country is as big as America to build all their ships themselves, and you outsource to an ally and not to your enemy, so it's not that unsafe as those guys claim it is. Alright, good.
Okay, since we must disagree with Tori, I can say that okay, nowadays the country should believe in peace, so maybe it's a good idea that everyone has more information who can improve, because nowadays the situation is that there are countries that are developed and countries that are not. In that way, you can give information and make develop also the country that they are not developed. That's my idea.
So you should help each other.
Yeah, because we should live in peace. There is not there shouldn't be a conflict between the countries, but they have to help each other to improve the technology. That's all. But I must disagree. So.
Yes, you must.
I think Paolo is very idealistic, and all countries don't have good intentions, unfortunately. And also, I'm not saying that a country like Norway, a small country, could produce every single component on a ship, but it could import some components from other countries, but not have the entire ship built in another country. Because that would, in addition to what I said earlier, transfer sensible information. It would not be good for, or you would gain a lot more economically from building it in your own country, with jobs and many other advantages.
New argument, good. Do your teammates have something to add, maybe?
I think that there is also an economy choice behind this choice, because maybe it's cheaper to produce the navy outside the country, so maybe this is why. So that's
Okay.
I think to argue about the sensible argument, I think that you can just split the project into two parts, like the sensitive parts, like the common part, and the small amount of sensitive part, for example the weapons and stuff, you can produce yourself, and then the main part can be produced elsewhere. So to my mind, the sensible as argument doesn't match. And then the economic aspect, I think in a globalized world, we have to use the globalist markets to make proper concurrence against, so that the shipyard get the best price, and you can have the ships at the level market. The level market.
Although it might be cheaper to build a ship in another country, as Sebastian is saying, I think that sometimes the political objectives of two countries they collide. And this happened a few years back in France, when I think Russia ordered a few helicopter carriers to be built at the shipyard in France, and suddenly, because of Crimea, France decided to suspend all those contracts.
Now you're taking the point of view of the shipyard. Once you took the point of view of the ordering country, and now you take the point of view of the actual building country. In a sense, calm.
No, but we're talking about we're talking about country-wide.
Yeah, there is no point of view.
Aspect.
It's just a common.
Yeah, that's true that sometimes political issue can affect the industry, but like the government was really knowing what he was doing. I don't believe myself, but I have to argue on this. So yeah, he provided some economical help, and I think that at some point it's all a matter of politics. Like if you want to get the best price, you should like produce elsewhere. And if you don't want to, the government have to like provide alternative, like economic alternative. So it's really painful for me. You know what I mean? So anyway, it's like if you don't want to outsource, it will cost you at some point.
But in return, it will bring stability because you won't risk suddenly the other country cancelling the contract because of politics or whatever. It will be built, even though it will be more expensive, and it will create jobs.
Are there some new arguments that are missing?
And when most country outsource their weapon, what I heard is they do not outsource those top tier class weapon. Instead, they outsource kind of second class or third class weapon. For example, in Korea, this is not ship but airplane. The America outsources us the F-16, but it was not top class weapon at that time. So both are okay. In terms of Korean, we can acquire good weapon without those serious R&D. And for America, they do kind of those say garage sale like this. Wait a second, sorry. Clearance selling, right? So, yeah.
So you're saying that all the top secret information you build yourself, but the weapons that are commonly known, you outsource.
Yes.
The not top secret
Suppose
stuff.
Win-win.
Win-win.
Yeah.
All right. I think we have heard some interesting opinions about this subject. Let's continue to the second topic. Investments in the Navy, or Army in general, are smart, as they often result in new clever technologies, such as World Wide Web or GPS or whatever. Does everyone understand the topic? Alright, I change it. Now you agree and you disagree. To keep things interesting. You agree? You don't agree? No.
I think investments in the Navy and Army is not a very efficient way of developing new technologies. As there are many more efficient ways, like investing purely in research or encouraging. In the U.S., SpaceX is a quite new company, and they've been starting to launch rockets into orbit and satellites, and they've managed to do this using a fraction of the money that the big industrial military companies in the US like Boeing or Lockheed Martin were doing for the last 30 years. So I think encouraging companies like SpaceX that are private, first of all, and that are not completely limited to supplying the defense industry of a particular country. I think that's a much better way of developing new clever technologies.
So it can be done more efficiently.
Yeah, by encouraging private companies to take on the responsibility of developing new technologies rather than rather than the army or the navy or the companies that supply them with weapons.
All right. Interesting.
I think that the army as one of the R&D like departments, one of the best of. If you stick to the US, of course, it's somehow one of the best of the country. And I think that even though you said that the investment should be like in private company, I think that the fact that they are in army, usually they develop like new innovations which are after that like taken and like given a purpose in like some casual utilization use. For example, the internet or else. I don't think that it's a bad thing that the prior and the initial cash amount is invested in the defense. This is some kind of, like you said earlier, job improvement in the army. And then I would say that these top technologies are usually better developed in the huge army than elsewhere. In many like small laboratory or thing, because there are just so many facilities and so many stuff that they can just perfect it to the right way.
So you're saying better spend it to the army because they have the stuff to do the research than to wait and for a private company to invest.
Okay, of course I agree that investment in Navy are smart. Basically for two reasons. One, because if you look at the history, there are a lot of new technology that developed during the war. I mean, if I remember well, the radar was invented during the First World War. And I think that nowadays there are a lot of new technology that are present in the Navy, but they are secret because they want to use during a possible war. So maybe there are a lot of technology to the investment, but we don't know because we want to leave them secret. That's not it.
So you think there is a lot of knowledge hidden in the military that once will come out?
Yeah.
Nothing to say?
Well, I think it all depends on if you want a private company to develop new technologies, then you need to have some kind of regulation. You have to be sure that they will not be spreading that information to any outsiders. And I think that's the hardest to do with private companies than companies that are directly associated to the state. So, so it all depends, I think.
It all depends, right. I think that's a nice ending of the discussion. I will send an overview of the pros and cons of the two statements. The end.